Alright, it is battle time. It is fairly late for me. I'm all loaded up on medication, so hopefully I will be able to play this game with a clear head and not have this stupid whatever's affecting me get in the way. No, it is not what you think it is. Or at least it better not be. It's probably just allergies more than anything else, because I have really bad allergies that act up around this time of year. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the battle and see how we fare against D.Rey this time around. On a bigger stage with bigger stakes. Alright, so D.Rey is bringing to the table. There is Vish, that is no surprise to me. Arcanine, Klefki, Hitmontop, Mimikyu, and Rotom-Mow. He did not bring Sand. He did bring at least 4 things that my front office and I figured he would. Hitmontop and Rotom-Mow are a slight surprise. So, given this, I figure he may potentially try to lead. I mean, a Scarf Rotom-Mow just Volt switching out seems like an obvious start. Or he could just try to burn me. I'm gonna go ahead and lead Neopert, though. Because I think Neopert could potentially put him on the back foot early, depending on what he wants to lead with. He could lead Klefki and just try to set hazards right out of the gate, or potentially just try to spread status throughout my team. He could lead Vish and just try to start breaking, which I would not put past him. Rotom-Mow, as I said, is a very likely lead too, just because Scarf just Volt switching out. Wouldn't put that past him. Alright, good luck, have fun, D.Rey. And let's see how this goes this time around. Don't worry, I've got no sunny day weather ball shenanigans to throw your way this time. Couldn't find a way to put it into this team. Back to the Ghost Gym, as is kind of the norm for him, his home turf. As he does lead with the Rotom-Mow. So assuming this is a standard Scarf lead, there's 2 ways we could play this. He could just Volt Switch out. He could Will-O-Wisp, which would actually be kind of bad. Or he could Trick. In at least 2 of those 3 scenarios, I actually feel kind of comfortable going into the Ruin. Would he Trick right out of the gate, though? Well, I mean, he could, but he would actually give himself a choice band. You know what? I'm gonna U-turn. I'm gonna take a bit of a risk. See how he wants to play this. He could Willow, which he's gonna set up a Reflect. Okay. Interesting opening play. This U-turn is still gonna do quite a bit, though. And from here, I honestly kind of want to go into Entrapta. Because even if he is dual screens Rotom, he really is not doing a whole lot to Entrapta. Yeah, I'm going to send Entrapta in. And we're going to go from here. I mean, the Reflect is going to stop Body Press a bit. But if I can get Entrapta behind a sub now, that could actually be kind of nice. I mean, he could Willow just to try to chip, or he could potentially set up a light screen, too. And there's also the possibility he could just Volt Switch out right now, which would not bother me that at all. The Lawnmower and the Floating Magnet UFO. He is going to go ahead and set up both screens, which is actually fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and get behind the sub, I'm going to be able to get both leftovers and grassy terrain to heal me up, which is not bad. And I have absolutely no problem starting to set up iron defenses here and seeing what happens. He's going to Volt Switch, which is not going to break my sub, or at least it shouldn't. Yeah, it doesn't. So Magnezone's going to get up to +2, and I'm still going to have my sub, which, that's actually not bad. He's probably light clay, honestly. As he goes into Hitmontop, which the Intimidate's not going to work because I am behind my sub. I'm going to get my Iron Defense up, which is going to make hits from this Hitmontop not as potent. So if he close combats right now, because I've got no speed investment on this Magnezone, so he would outspeed me unless he's running a negative speed nature. If he close combats and his defense dips, I can actually do over half with a body press. Alternatively, I could also Iron Defense and just go up to +4 and go from there. I kind of like that idea, actually. I'm gonna go Iron Defense. He's got Drill Run! Okay, clever! That crit was irrelevant because I got my sub up. So I'm at +4 now. He does have Drill Run, which is not affected by the terrain, but by that same token, I'm just going to body press now. Because even through his screens, I should be doing roughly half. So I'm a bold max defense Magnezone. I'm going to go ahead and body press. Do over half. So I guess now I get to find out, about half when Grassy Terrain's factored in. I'm going to get all my healing back. That does tell me he's not leftovers. And there goes my terrain. Aww. I wouldn't put it past him to switch out just because of the fact that, I know Drill wasn't affected by the terrain anyway, but I wouldn't put it past him to switch just because from that, another body press should actually kill. So I'm going to go ahead and get back behind a sub and see how he wants to play this. No, he's just going to stay in and Drill Run again. Which Entrapped is going to be able to take. Yeah, I'm actually kind of beating myself down here with these subs. I'm just going to go ahead and body press again. I would have figured he would have switched to try to preserve this thing, but I guess he really does not want me to have this fully set up Magnezone kind of staring him down, which it is a fair play, because Magnezone's actually kind of a problem if I get to +6. But still, I'm going to body press, and that is not going to be enough to kill. Aww. So I could do something a little cheeky here and go into Druddigon, which this Hitmontop would basically kill itself in that case. I'm pretty sure Drill Run would make contact. But I'm just going to stand and just fire off a Flash Can to kill this thing, honestly. No need to... That way I can preserve body... Oh, he's going to miss the Drill Run. Oh, I'm sorry about that, D.Rey. I mean, in the long run, it wasn't going to matter just because of the fact that Hitmontop would have been going down this turn anyway, though the fact that Entrapta is sitting here with a little more health is certainly not going to help, especially now that your Reflect is gone. I would hazard a guess, so with Hitmontop gone, I would hazard a guess and say this is where Arcanine comes in. Because he needs Entrapta to take a hike in a heartbeat. And that is exactly what he's going to do. And you are Intimidate. I had a feeling as such. Okay. So if he's more of a physical one, I think I could actually take it on. If he's more special and he's got Flamethrower, then he could actually kill me, and I don't want that. So in that regard, I'm going to actually switch to the Ruin now. And go from here. See what this Arcanine... See exactly what this Arcanine is. So In's going to come to Ruin. He does a Flamethrower. I had a feeling that was the case. I mean... I didn't want to take the risk in case he was a physical one, because I actually could have taken that. But it's certainly good to know now. And with that knowledge, I kind of want to start setting up T-Spikes, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do that. He's definitely going to switch this thing out because he does not want to be taking the Scald from me. So this allows me a chance to get a layer of T-Spikes up. As in comes Rotom-Mow, that is of no surprise. So he's dual screens with Volt Switch, and I'm presuming leftovers as well. I'm actually going to get my second layer of T-Spikes up, because I can take a Volt Switch if he wants to play that game. I have a few... No, he's going to try a Volt Switch. Does almost half. I actually count that as being roughly half, but I guess maybe he's not as offensively invested because of the fact that he screens. I'm assuming that thing is light play. In comes Klefki. I don't know if he really wants to be playing that game with me. I've got 2 layers of T-Spikes up. He's probably going to defog if I were to hazard a guess. Because he could really use these T-Spikes out of the way. So, this is basically a free switch back to Entrapta as far as I'm concerned. And Mag can start its shenanigans all over again. Thunder Wave, which does not affect me because I'm part electric. So Entrapta's going to get leftovers back. I'm going to go ahead and get behind a sub because I can. So it's time to find out if this Klefki is, has Shed Shell or not. I wouldn't put it past him to put Shed Shell in this thing, just because of this particular scenario. If he is Shed Shell, then I'm in a position where Entrapta could actually kind of win this. He does have Shed Shell, I figured as much. In is going to come Arcanine, which is going to get... I mean, it's going to intimidate me, but it is going to get Toxic. Or not. Right, Boots. I keep forgetting Boots are a thing. I don't know how, because... He needs to break my sub anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and body press to start chipping away at this Arcanine, because this is the biggest thing probably standing between me and, Lucharilla shenanigans. So, that's going to break the sub. Which is fine, because Entrapta gets the body press now. Get a bit of damage off on this doggo. I get leftovers back. And this is where I go back into the Ruin. I wouldn't be surprised if he... Teleport! Okay! D.Rey making the big brain plays here. Called my switch coming and... use teleport to get switch initiative. So... Rotom is probably coming back in. Yep. I mean, the Ruin's gonna get leftovers back. I'm gonna go back into Neopert, honestly. Because Neopert can certainly take a Volt Switch. And at the very least, I'd be getting terrain set up so I can kind of go from here, see how he wants to play this. he's going to predict my switch, or if he's just going to just maybe get his screens back up, or if he's just going to Volt Switch out again. He's just going to Volt Switch, which is fine. Neoport, we're able to get some HP back from the terrain, and then I can go from there. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Arcanine come in. Just because Intimidate plus, yep. Alright, so from this scenario, I certainly do not want to be eating a Flamethrower. And that's proof he's got just enough speed investment to outspeed me, for sure. I kind of want to go into Arc, actually. I'm out of time-wise. 6 minutes, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm going to go into Cannibal Ladder. I know I kind of set myself up where Earthquake is not as much of a threat to this thing. But that's actually kind of fine, because I could just glare it and slow it down for later. I see just Flamethrowers. Which is fair. Cannibal Ladder can take that. We're both going to get HP back from the terrain. And from this point, I'm going to go ahead and Glare. I know I can get my rocks up, which Arc's not really going to be bothered by because I did not bring Knockoff because... In hindsight, I'm kind of... He's got Dragon Pulse on this Arcanine! Wow! Look at D.Rey being prepared for my Druddigon. I was not expecting that. Good play, good sir. Okay, so in the face of that, I think I'm actually going to go into Hesukia. Because Hesukia is not really bothered by, I mean, if he goes Dragon Pulse again, then it does nothing. I can take a Flamethrower. Just gonna teleport out. Into... I'm presuming either Mimikyu or Dracovish. I would not be surprised at either one, honestly. That is Vish. Now the question becomes, I mean, it's Toxic, which is certainly a step in the right direction. So now I guess the question really becomes, what kind of Vish are you? I mean, I don't have Trick Room up, so Hesukia is not taking a hit from you either way. I'm gonna go back into Cannibal Ladder. Because I can abuse... He does not know he knows I'm not leftovers. I don't know if he knows I'm Rough Skin Rocky Helmet, though. So we will see exactly how this scenario is about to play out. As he does go for Vicious Rend, which is going to kill Cannibal Ladder, unfortunately. But I am going to get Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet damage off on this Vish. Which is perfectly fine with me. Because that is a huge amount of chip off on this thing. The Toxic is going to start racking up to the point where he's not getting as much back from my own terrain. And speaking of the terrain, there it goes. So, let's see from here. I'm going to go into the Ruin. Because... If he's adamant banded, the Ruin is specifically EV'd speed-wise to outpace this thing. If he's Scarf, Fish's Rend should not actually kill me, so I can hit this thing with a Dazzling Gleam. I probably should have protected, honestly, but... We will go from there. He's gonna switch. Into Rotom, which is fine, because I can get some damage off with, That's some damage off there with, that. I'm going to protect. I'm going to get a bit more Black Sludge recovery back, and I'm going to scout to see exactly what this Rotom's play is. Which is straight up Volt Switching. Fair enough. Go ahead and get more HP back. You know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna pull that one back. I'm just gonna go into Neopart. I would not be surprised if he's just still Volt Switches anyway, but if nothing else, it gets my terrain up so Neopart can get some HP back. I know I can take a Volt Switch from this thing. He goes Light Screen. Which is fine with me. Interesting call there. I'm just going to go ahead and hit U-turn. If he wants to get a Reflect up as well, he can be my guest. Or if he wants to... Well, that would probably be his best choice, to be honest, just because... If he... I mean, if he Volt Switches out, but he doesn't have a screen to protect him from anything this RuppDat could do, because it is banded. And it would give me Switch Initiative. Though, if he gets a Reflect up from this range, I'm pretty sure a U-turn from banded RuppDat actually kills this RuppDat still. I think the Dazzling Gleam chip from the Ruin might have actually set He's just gonna flat switch into Arcanine, which is perfectly fine. Because he's going to Intimidate, but I'm going to immediately be able to U-turn out. Which gets more chip off on Doggo here. Decent amount of chip. High horsepower would have been so clutch there, but it is what it is. I'm going to go into Hesukia. And I know he's got the Light Screen. But honestly, I think it's Trick Room time, because I think Dracovish is coming in. Oh, he's fully paralyzed. He stayed in on that one. I am sorry about that one, D.Rey. I mean, he does have this Light Screen, which is going to be a bit annoying, but... That's fine. I can just sit in here and Psychic and see how he wants to play this. I wonder if he tried to teleport out. Because that would imply teleport would actually go before my Trick Room. Granted, I think Trick Room is the lowest priority move in the game, even lower than teleport is. I'm still going to get a good amount of damage off through the screen. Hesukia is going to take... not as well as I would have liked. But, honestly, this is fine. Because I'm still getting a very valuable chip off on this Arcanine. And right now, honestly, the sooner I get rid of Arcanine, the sooner Rillalucha basically kicks open the door. Klefki's still not... He's got Morning Sun. Fair enough. Alright, in the face of that... Well, there goes my grassy terrain. In the face of that, I'm just going to go back into the Ruin. He will be able to outslow me. He will be able to outslow me in my own Trick Room because of the paralysis. I also know this thing's full set now. But that's fine, because I'm still pretty sure I can... Again, I'm sorry, D.Rey. I'm sorry about the paralysis. I'm just going to click Skull on whatever comes in, which is probably going to be Rotom. If I get a burn on Rotom, this is probably going to start snowballing a bit. I would actually kind of feel bad about that. Dog versus Jellyfish. The most intense stare down you will ever see in the wild. I wouldn't blame him if he's getting a little frustrated with the paralysis. I mean, I was partially intending to paralyze Dracovish, but that thing being toxic actually kind of worked out better for me. This is actually kind of a... Next is actually kind of a bit of a drawn-out slugfest, because... Oh. Is he teleporting? Yes, he is. Okay. I was wondering why I went first, and I'm pretty sure I still have my Trick Room active. So his Arcanine ate some damage, and I'm almost 100% certain that... Yep. That Rotom-Mow is coming back in. There goes the Trick Room. Does he still have his screen? Yeah, he still has one more turn of screens. I'm gonna Protect to stall that out. I know it sounds a bit scummy, but... With screens gone, I may be... Pain Split! He has no grass move on this thing. That is interesting to me. You know what? I'm gonna go into Entrapta. Worst case scenario, he Volt Switches out and goes right back into Arcanine, and we're right back to that song and dance. Best case scenario, he Pain Splits, and he's not getting a whole lot back from it. He is just gonna Volt Switch. I figured as much. Just more chip on Entrapta, which is not the best thing in the world. Arcanine's probably on its way back in. No, he goes Vish. I think he's had enough of Entrapta. And I kinda don't blame him. Okay. I'm gonna go back into the Ruin. Because I think the Ruin might actually... Even though it's gonna get the boost because of Dracovish technically going first, I think I can still take a Vicious Ren from this thing. Sort of. Eesh. That did not go as well as I would have liked. Some more toxic damage that rocks up on this thing, though, which is nice. I'm gonna Protect. Because I want to see how committed he is to staying in and trying to Vicious Ren me again. Not very, so I have a feeling he may actually be... Either he's concerned about the Toxic racking up, or more than likely he is Adamant Max Attack banned. I'm just gonna Protect again to get more HP back from the Black Sludge. More than likely, if I were to hazard a guess at this point, he's definitely Adamant Max Attack banned, and he suspects that Tentacruel may actually be able to outspeed him. Which, to be fair, that's specifically what I EV'd this thing to do. That's more HP back for me. I'm gonna go into Neopert now. Which, he's probably Volt Switching straight into Arcanine. And we are back to this song and dance. All over again. This has been the name of the game here. He is going to Volt Switch. So, I kind of want to see at this point. He is paralyzed, so I know I outspeed him. No, he's going Klefki this time. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt this thing has Thunder Wave. And I'm sorry, I'm not letting RuppDat get paralyzed. I'm going back into Entrapta. If he calls that and switches straight into Arcanine or even worse, Dracovish, then good play on his part. But I am not letting RuppDat get paralyzed. Ooh, he's setting spikes. I think he's had about all I can stand of my games. I'm just gonna go ahead and get entrapped behind a sub. Because I know I can do so. He's gotta waste a turn switching this Klefki out. Which is basically free sub for Entrapta. Right back into Arcanine. I mean, credit where credit is due, Entrapta's certainly been quite the pain this game. Also, I can see it's very clear we're kind of both holding our trump cards for as long as humanly possible here, even though the clock is actually starting to become a concern for both of us. I'm just gonna body press to get more damage off on this thing. Help wear down Arcanine a little more. Get right back behind my sub. He's gonna flamethrower and break that. So I guess now the question becomes, does he predict the Tentacruel switch and try to teleport out? Or does he stay in? Or does he go for the flamethrower? Because he can honestly go either way at this point. I would kind of hate to lose Entrapta. But yeah, I'm just gonna play this safe and go to the Ruin. If he switches out into if he flat switches or teleports out into Rotom-Mow, then fair play on his part. Which is exactly what's gonna happen. Okay, so we are back to this now. I'm sure we are both getting a little tired of seeing this matchup. This Rotom has actually been more of a pain than I gave it credit for. I will give it to D.Rey on this part. This thing is more of a pain than I think I was willing to admit. You know what? This might sound stupid, but I'm going to stay in Dazzling Gleam. I know I'm probably going to lose Tentacruel to a Volt Switch. No, he's going to set up a Light Screen. Okay, then. That kind of works, I guess. I don't know if he was calling me going for a Protect, or how he was playing that. I'm gonna go back into Neopert then and preserve the Ruin a little longer. If he's done Volt switching straight into Arcanine and going into Klefki, that kind of intrigues me a bit, actually. I mean, granted, Arcanine being paralyzed actually makes it a lot less useful in trying to stop Neopert from doing its thing. So we got my drummer back in. He's got a light screen up. Is Klefki coming back in? Nope, he's going into Arcanine this time. Okay, so we actually have a bit of a double-edged sword here. Because on one hand, high horsepower is going to do a lot. On the other, I'm not in a position to take a flamethrower. I'm just going to U-turn. I am really regretting switching out Knockoff for Darkest Lariat now, but I wanted to be absolutely sure that I wasn't going to run into issues with, I'm just going to go back into the Ruin. I really wanted to be sure that I wasn't going to run into any problems tending to Orbeetle if he brought it. He just flamethrowers. Fair enough. I mean, on the plus side, I pretty much get all that back because of Black Sludge and Grassy Terrain. I'm just gonna go for a Scald at this point. I need to start... I need this... He probably flat switch... No, he stays in. I'm at least gonna knock Arcanine under half, which is... Actually... was best case scenario for a time there. Oy vey, this dog is giving me a headache now. He's only used 2 Morning Suns out of, what is it, 8, I think is the max? How many turns does he have of... This is... No, he's got a few more turns of screens. I'm just gonna keep scalding. If I would have been able to get rocks up with... If I'd have been able to get rocks up with Druddigon, that'd have been a lot nicer, but... I mean, at this point, I guess you kind of figure it's gonna happen, but... I still feel bad seeing it. I mean, it burns another turn of screens. I'm just gonna keep scalding at this point. Just trying to keep chipping away at this dog. As he's gonna Dragon Pulse me. Which... the Ruin could have taken that better. I mean, I've got good natural special bulk, even though I've got no investment in it. And there goes my terrain. He still has 2 turns of screens. I'm gonna keep scalding then. I know I'm basically wasting skulls at this point, but... I mean, I don't know what else I would really use them on at this point. Klefki, probably? No, that was not a crit. Ugh. I don't know how many times I can apologize at this point, D.Rey. I know it's been pointed out to me at several points that I kind of have a habit of being overly apologetic, which sounds about right when it comes to me. That's another Morning Sun off the table. And I believe that is his last turn of screens. So at this point, I would not put it... Yep, it is. So at this point, I would not put it past him. I'm going to Scald anyway, because maybe I'll get lucky and get a burn on Rotom to kind of help wear that thing down. Yep, he's going into Rotom. I mean, I should have known that was coming. I mean, I still chip away at it, don't get me wrong. And, oh my god, I do get the burn. This is just snowballing at this point. I'm sorry, D.Rey. I'm gonna Dazzling Gleam. I'm willing to eat the Volt Switch and potentially lose Tentacruel. He's gonna Pain Split. Which is actually a good call on his part, because it gives this Rotom a lot more longevity at this point. I'm able to get Black Sludge back. He's going to be chipped away by the burn. I'm going to Protect just because of the potential of him just Volt Switching out and killing me. That allows me some Black Sludge recovery back. He's going to Light Screen again. So now we are in this game. This is actually kind of getting a little ugly to watch at this point. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and Dazzling Gleam again just to try to get further chip on this thing at this point. As he just Pain Splits, which is fair play. Alright. So I love that we're both still deadlocked, and we're both kind of getting low on time here. In this defensive slugfest at this point. At this point, I'm willing to stay in and risk dying to Volt Switch. As he goes against a Reflect Up. I'm starting to wonder if he's either he predicted the Protect, or he's trying to set up for some kind of end game. Which, given the fact it hasn't hit the field yet, so he's been preserving its disguise for as long as possible, that end game has to involve, I'm gonna Dazzling Gleam again. That end game's gotta involve Mimikyu at this point. I see nothing else that it could be. Because Vish has been slowly kind of breaking my team down, but it's also been getting chipped down in the process itself. Now I'm going to Protect. Stops him from getting any more HP, well, some HP back with Pain Split, or just Volt Switching out on me. Burns a turn of screens. Is he out of Volt Switches? I find it a little odd that he's... I'm going to Dazzling Gleam again? If I want to think he's still got Volt Switches left. Either he's trying to make sure this Rotom is as healthy as possible for some reason, or he's legitimately out of Volt Switches. I mean, it could be either or at this point, honestly. Because I'm kind of sort of sitting here sacking the Ruin at this point, just Dazzling Gleaming away. There's the Volt Switch. I had a feeling it was coming. I'm sorry, Ruin. But the plus side is, I've burned a couple turns of screens, and I do have Switch Initiative on whatever he brings in. So I can kind of go from there and, respond accordingly. Which is going to be Arcanine. Which I actually don't have as many answers to anymore. Okay, this is actually a bit of a problem. I'm going to go into Hesukia. I'm going to take Spike's damage. I am under 2 minutes now. This is actually kind of bad. I'm going to Psychic. I kind of don't want to get the little too overly happy with Trick Rooms just yet. If I can wear out this thing's Morning Suns at this point, I think I might potentially have a chance. Just gonna hit this thing with a Psychic. I mean, there is a chance of that happening. The Spadef drops, and there goes the light screen on top of that. So I'm actually gonna Trick Room now because a Psychic would actually kill from this range, and I don't think he's gonna let Arcanine go. That he actually stayed in. That actually kind of surprises me, because a Psychic without the light screen, a Psychic definitely kills from this range. I am legitimately surprised by that. Unless he was trying to teleport out again, which I still don't know how that works with Trick Room. I apologize for the para all the same, but I honestly would have figured he would have flat switched. The good news, however, his screens are gone, and I do have a Trick Room up, which means Hat is actually in a really good spot right now to actually make something happen in this game. Good lord, this whole video is probably going to be over an hour at this point. I'm going to Mystical Fire with Hesukia. I guess I also forgot to mention, I know it's really late in the video, and you guys have probably raised an eyebrow why the different nickname. I kind of had a bit of an issue with getting Hatterene genned. Or at least the one I was trying to use. So I just, since it was basically the same set, I just went with one of my Hasukiyas from the IBL. I'm gonna take a chunk out of this Klefki with lower special attack, which I don't know how well that actually matters at this point in time. This Klefki actually, I don't think it can touch me. I'm interested. At this point, I've got to assume he's just trying to stall out Trick Room turns. So this is gonna get rid of Rotom, which actually works beautifully for me because Hatterene is starting to do the work it did back in IBL to some extent, even without the G-Max. So either he goes into Mimikyu here, and then ultimately finds out I'm Queso Berry. Yep, he is going into Mimikyu. So at this point, I want to say I mean, I do get the Toxic, which is nice. His actual Mon here. I'm going to Psychic because it's the best attack I got to hit this thing with. He could Swords Dance. I think this is my last turn of Trick Room. So I'm going to at least break Mimikyu's Disguise, which is best case, which is actually, honestly, all I would have needed Hat to do from this point. He is going to SD. Okay. And I think, I'm almost positive my Trick Room. Yep, there goes my Trick Room. At this point, I'm going to let Hat go down. Because Hat's done all I could really need it to. That's going to pop my Queso Berry. But I'm in a range where that doesn't really matter at this point. And he is Life Orb. Okay, so I've got two ways I could probably play this at this point. Because RuppDat easily comes in from here. I gotta be mindful of my time, too. Ooh, actually, I might have a bit of a problem. I'm gonna go into Neopert. But ooh, this could actually be interesting. I'm at 85. So I'm in range where a Shadow Sneak roll could kill. I definitely kill this thing with a Grassy Glide. The question is, what's got better priority? I'm going to stay in Grassy Glide, just because if nothing else, RuppDat at least, Shadow Sneak does go first. And it is going to be enough to kill Neopert. That was actually, okay. So this is actually a little ugly now. Because to some degree, I kind of have to go into Ray Phoenix. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go into Ray Phoenix right now. Because from this range, even if he Shadow Sneaks, Hawlucha's Grassy Seed is popped, and I definitely kill this thing with an Acrobatics, even without the Swords Dance. So that's going to trigger my Unburden. I've got the +1 defense, which is going to help. I'm just going to click Acrobatics at this point. As he is going to Shadow Sneak, which... that did a little more than I thought. Is he Adamant? I mean, granted, Mimikyu's dead anyway, but... actually, we may have a problem. Because this thing is still here. I have one hope. He's gonna Thunder Wave me, I know he is. But if I can get behind a sub, maybe, just maybe... Nope, I'm gonna get parried. How much time do I have left? None at all. Okay. So, this is where I pretty much stop thinking. I'm gonna go into Entrapta. And he's gonna Dazzling Gleam. Okay. I can still pull this off. Entrapta can still save the day. I am clicking sub immediately, because I've got no room to think at this point. At this point, all I need is Entrapta behind a sub. And I've got enough to pull it off. There is absolutely no way a Dazzling Gleam is breaking my sub. So at this point, it may be a matter of D-Rey maybe hoping I run out my land timer. There goes my grassy terrain, which is fine. I'm gonna Iron Defense. With one Iron Defense, I think Magnezone can win this. Or actually, maybe not. I'm just gonna go ahead and body press. I'm at, what, 38 right now? Okay. This shouldn't kill Klefki. Oh, it did. Oh, that was actually worst case scenario. Oh, no. I actually needed Klefki to live that, because Dracovish wins now. Oh my god, I actually needed that body press not to kill. I needed that body press not to kill. I'm just gonna click body press again, but D-Ray's got this. Yeah, he's gonna fish this Rend. And that's gonna be the end of that. GG, D-Rey. I apologize that this went as long as it did, and I apologize that this probably was not as interesting to watch to many of you, even up until the very end. I needed that. Had that body press, I'm gonna acrobatics, but there's no way I'm living a Fish's Rend from this thing without my defense boost. Especially since he's going first anyway. There goes Ray Phoenix. GG, D-Rey. You definitely deserve it after some of the hacks that were kind of in my favor throughout that game. That one went way too long. And I'm probably going to be hurting at work tomorrow morning. Almost. Almost. Had that body press not killed. I just needed that body press not to kill Klefki. Maybe I should have just spammed Iron Defenses until I could sub again. Oh, well, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. I apologize that this video is definitely stupidly long, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't really watch a whole lot of it or skip through most of it just because. I apologize all around. Still, I thank you guys who did watch, for toughing out for this length of time. I've been Ruppy, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.